All right. Hello, welcome to Dadpuzzles. We're very fortunate today. We have the privilege of welcoming a truly remarkable individual to our show. He's not only the co-founder of TWEVA, a groundbreaking technology company, but also is a devoted family man, David Van Beekum. So, he has passion for innovation, digital marketing expertise, and also a heartwarming commitment to the fatherhood. So, David, please join us today and share, like your unique journey and insights, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Yes,
It's
sir.
always a journey. We talk about the journey in entrepreneurship and
Mm-hmm.
in running your own business and
Right.
trying to keep the family going at the same time. And
Right.
you understand it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
It really is. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I can't remember. It was 15 or 16 probably when I had a job with someone
Mm-hmm.
else, and then
Okay.
I started a little company on my own. I was just a
Mm-hmm.
web design, web hosting, probably the beginning stages of the internet, and
Okay.
didn't have a family yet, but I just loved that freedom of being able to work from sometimes my home.
Right.
Sometimes I would meet clients at their locations, and we would talk a little bit about what they're looking for. But I kind of just got started in that way, and then eventually uh, did that so much that I kind of burned myself out. I had about 18, I think it was like 17 or 18 projects in a month, and
Wow.
I was just building all these it was a database here, it was a
Mm-hmm.
WordPress over there,
Right.
and I just told my wife, I said, I'm like, it's so much. Can we
Mm-hmm.
build something so we can focus on one project and
Right.
partner with people?
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, already had our first kid, and we talked about the risks. There are
Mm-hmm.
risks that you take when jumping out on your own,
Right.
but finding the right partner, that could be a risk.
Absolutely.
But I did it right after. I mean, I was self-employed on my own journey before that, but I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted a partner, a business partner. So we started looking around, and we found different people to work with, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. And we
Right.
tried a couple different ventures, but this one that we're working on now, Tweeva,
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a combination of business partners that we worked with before,
Okay.
and they were in the restaurant industry.
Okay.
And what had happened was we were sitting around in the restaurants, and it was an Italian restaurant, and
Okay.
up came Domino's Pizza
Mm.
commercial. And I
Right.
just laid back. I just said, "Hey, how dare they put this in your restaurant? You
Mm-hmm.
know, how, who do they know who you are?"
Right.
And we kind
Mm-hmm.
of jokingly about it and said, wouldn't it be cool if we could have a TV that was just for you?
Mm.
Something that you could control, and it
Right.
wouldn't show maybe ads for Italian food. It would just
Absolutely.
show
Uh-huh.
everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of led us onto the journey of building out a small business TV network
Right.
for small businesses. And then we added on later influencers.
Okay.
Because think about an influencer, right? They're creating all this content,
Mm-hmm.
and they are trying to get followers. They're trying to become known
Right.
somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. Look at me. Look at me. And so I said, what if we combine those two? It's really
Right.
hard for an influencer to get on TV,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's hard enough for them to build a social network, but they
Right.
can, and there is a
Mm-hmm.
there's a space for that. But it's very hard for them to build credibility on TV
Right.
because
Mm.
they're not going to run a 30-second ad, right?
Right.
So we figured that if we could build out a TV network for that small business and the influencer, we can kind of combine the content creation piece
Right.
and then the business owner needing content
Right.
together into a privately closed but yet public system.
Right.
Um, and so that's a kind of overview of the journey.
Nice.
But that's where we're at now is just expansion,
Okay.
and meanwhile we're trying to keep the family and the kids and
Oh
the
man.
soccer games and
Mm-hmm.
all those crazy
That
things.
was
And I
actually
imagine
my
what
goodness. That's actually my next question. Is like, how do you manage to balance all this, my friend?
my wife.
Okay. Okay. Teamwork. Yeah.
Yo, my goodness. Yeah, you need the teamwork. Yeah. When I'm
Right.
over here building, why doesn't this code work? Or
Mm-hmm.
what's wrong with, somebody can't upload a certain type of file to their TV. I'm over
Mm-hmm.
there working, and she's doing the million other things with the
Right.
kids and making sure
Nice.
that they have everything they need to do for school.
Right.
I'm definitely second in that piece,
Mm-hmm.
but we do it as a team. We've
Right.
had those discussions before where I might be working too much in this
Mm-hmm.
section, or I
Right.
feel like she might be taking too much on her side.
Right.
And it really is a balance
Mm-hmm.
that you need a lot of communication with. Have you
Right.
found that too?
Absolutely. And also, another key part I think it should be about understanding. I mean, is nice and it's very helpful when she understands, like your case. Because sometimes, some folks maybe they're not on the same page. They will just think maybe, oh, you're just slacking, you don't pick up on helping the family, So but when they your partner understands, then you both kind of, like help each other, like relentlessly because you know what's the goal.
Yeah,
That's
it
beautiful.
is. It is,
Nice.
but I do have the male brain, and
Mm-hmm.
I've heard before. There's this guy that came to our church once, and he said the man's brain works as in a 6 drawer dresser, and you
Mm-hmm.
take the football and you
Right.
put it in whatever drawer that the man is thinking about or working on, right? Like it might
Mhm,
be a
mhm,
work drawer, and then a
mhm.
sports drawer, and
Right,
a family drawer.
right.
And I would say that I tend to have one of the drawers that I would prioritize over
Mhm.
the others. So
Okay,
you
okay.
do need that balance in there to be able to say, hey, if you didn't go to the last soccer practice, you
Mhm,
didn't go to the last soccer game, you
mhm.
want to make sure that you're there for the next one. And you have to,
Right.
those are the very important things that you don't get second chances with. So
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
like even if you're building something that's huge and amazing,
Mhm.
everybody thinks that they have a great project.
Right.
Everybody thinks they have the great business.
But
But
family,
you don't
yeah.
want to have that regret, I don't think, later.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I gave it all and
Mhm.
I have this money or this riches or this business, but
You lost your
really,
kid.
yeah, yeah, you lose the family, you lose the kids.
Right.
And what are you going to say when you're on your deathbed is like, wow, I'm
Right.
really grateful for that I created an efficiency, you know? You know?
Yeah, no, no. I
So
think
it
you have a
really
very
you
good
have to
point.
have
Yes,
that
sir.
work. Yeah, you
Yes,
have to
sir.
have that work balance.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Now, you being the tech enthusiast, what have you come up with something that kind of enhance your family life or just the parenting experience from one of those different, like gadgets or technique, like
I,
the
yeah,
fancy
I
stuff?
don't think
Yeah.
I've invented it yet, but I have thought about things.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I wanted to build, like, this was years ago before they really had the touch screens. I think when the iPads first came out, I wanted
Right.
one of the iPads just plastered on the wall when you
Mm-hmm.
first walk in, and
Right.
where you could check the family calendar and scribble a note here or there, something
Mm-hmm.
digital. But with little kids, when I
Good
was
luck.
really, it never happened. And now that we all have cell phones and stuff, we
Right.
do use a shared calendar, which
There
helps
you
a
go.
lot. When
That's
I'm
good.
booking appointments and sitting
Mm-hmm.
down with people and
Right.
teaching about TWEVA or trying to raise capital with investors, I can see, oh, what's going on third Thursday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I know when these events are, but when my football is in the work drawer,
Right.
the male brain's like, okay, yeah, I got to block, and then you have to look at that calendar and make
Right.
sure. So
Mm-hmm.
um, what if we're meeting up with the cousins on Friday night? Shared calendar, a shared Google calendar is really helps.
Thank you.
Really
That's a good
helps.
idea.
So
Thank
sadly,
you.
I didn't invent that, but
Right, right.
that's what we
But
do
that's a
use.
good idea you're sharing so that dads can incorporate that so that in the future you might look at your calendar and say, oh yeah, sure, Thursday I'm available because you're looking at your like you call it the work drawer, which is your
Yes,
like your work calendar, but then you forget the family event here, there's something scheduled already. Like yesterday,
yes.
for instance, I had a like doctor's appointment with my daughter, and thankfully it was away from my other, you know like work schedule, so I was safe. But if you have the family calendar, definitely that could have saved me. So thank you. This is a good idea. We'll
Yes.
have that. You
Yeah,
know.
I have like 4 or 5, different email addresses and accounts. And then in my Apple calendar, and these work with all kind of calendars, you can just
Right.
sync them all.
Mm-hmm.
and I change the colors on them. So,
There you go.
this company is this color, and the family is this color. And
Right.
just one glance, it's
You know
not
what's
like,
going on?
oh, I, I didn't know what we were doing. It's like, come on, honey. The wife's brain, I've heard, from the same guy who talked about the drawers, is they are like a gumball machine.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all the gumballs in there. Those are all the things that are happening in her mind,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all together. She can process multiple things at
Oof.
once, and it's an incredible thing that they can do, but
Mm-hmm.
we tend to not work that way. So um, that gives me a good view of what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in the family side, without saying, what are we doing, or asking 17 times. That seems to
Right.
reduce a lot of stress when I
It
know
does.
what's going, how the work life is being planned out.
Right.
Saturday mornings, when soccer games are, that
Mm-hmm.
definitely helps.
Awesome, awesome, my friend. Thank you. And like you've mentioned about like stepping out of your comfort zone when you're sharing knowledge with others. I think in your bio, like I saw that like you mentioned that. So how has that impacted your perspective in terms of the family life? And what do you advise dads to look into when they're sharing their expertise, when they're stepping out of their comfort zone?
Well, I would say that expands anyone's view.
Hmm.
You know, I think everybody lives in a little bit of a box, right?
Right.
You're good at this, and
Hmm.
you've done this for 5 or 10 years, and
Hmm.
everybody knows you as that.
Right.
And then when you start expanding that box
Hmm.
a lot more, you get larger ideas of where you and the family can go. Or
Hmm.
you might think, well, if I do this, my child can probably go my same direction. That's
Hmm.
not that's maybe old school view,
Hmm.
the construction person, they would get their kids in construction.
Right.
But in my case, it was technology being behind the computer screen and
Right.
not really being in front of everyone else.
Hmm.
And, I just kind of look at my kids differently now. I think, wow, what did I think they could do? And what now that opens the idea of what they could possibly do.
Hmm.
How big of a voice could they be in the world with the digital communication? I was always wanted to program a platform to allow people to be the voice. That
Right.
was fine with me. I
Hmm.
wanted to be that quiet person.
Hmm.
Um, but it does expand your worldview and your idea of where your family could be, and
Hmm.
because you just haven't thought about that. But this is weird. Is for me, it was like years and years and years.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I'd be running the control board in my church,
Okay.
way in the back,
Hmm.
way, way, way in the back.
Right.
My dad did the same thing.
Hmm.
My mom was choir director, so she was a little bit more out front, but I don't think she'd
Right.
ever thought, well, one day,
Right.
um, you know, my son will be doing podcasts. And,
Ah.
so for me, it just, I teach my kids now,
Hmm.
it really, you can pretty much do anything because it
Awesome.
takes all these different types of characters and type of
Hmm.
personalities. It
Right.
just matters either if you're forced into doing something that you're
Hmm.
uncomfortable with, or just taking that first step into it and starting. And then it's
Okay.
not as uncomfortable. The thought
Right.
is really the worst part, really.
Right.
you know?
Yes. And that initial step, that's where you're like sweating and everything. But after that, you're good, right?
Yep. Yep. I was in a
Awesome.
presentation yesterday, and my,
Hmm.
I was up on stage, and I was talking
Hmm.
to a group of small businesses, and I said, if everybody has like a 4K camera.
Hmm.
Everybody has a 4. Do you remember like 10 years ago when you had like a camera, and for TV quality, it'd have to be like on your shoulder,
Right.
and you'd be, okay, well, call in the big guns, and then you got the
Yes.
big halogen lights.
Oh man.
And I guess it was maybe a little bit more uncomfortable to be in front
Hmm.
of that.
Right.
But now you have 4K camera in your pocket.
Right.
It's
Oh
not a
my.
matter of can I do it or can I not? It's, oh my
Right.
goodness, can
It's
I,
on.
can I get over the idea of
Hmm.
doing it? And
Right.
that's completely different.
Right.
So,
Oh my.
yeah.
So, man, can you share some interesting anecdotes or lessons you have learned from just running the TWEVA while also being a dedicated family person?
Well, a couple of things that you have to do is be able to turn on and off.
Hmm.
I heard this from another senior. he was I believe he was a CEO at a large insurance company, and I was
Okay.
friends with his. Um, well, he was a kind of client friend, my age,
Okay.
and his advice was, if you're going to run your own business
Mm-hmm.
or a large company and have a successful family,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time people will pick one. They'll pick one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
And what you need to be able to do is turn on and off mentally. As
Okay.
in, you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting there, you're talking, oh, how was the game today? Or how's practice? Or how's school? What did you do on that report card? And when the phone rings and it is important enough to answer,
Mm-hmm.
you have to say, give me just a few minutes. I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get up on the phone, maybe walk
Mm-hmm.
to the back of the room or walk out
Right.
of the room,
Right.
do your yelling and screaming, you know,
Right.
bring yourself back to where your family lives,
Right.
sit down and act like nothing happened
Absolutely. Thank
and
you.
go right back into it.
And
Because if
some
you
will go to
bring
an
that,
extreme. Oh, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go
if
ahead.
you bring that stress into the family,
Right.
now it's, oh, I hate that. I hate that thing that dad does. It
Mm-hmm.
changes him, And so to
Mm.
be able to turn that on and off, and the same thing in the business world is, if something's happening in the family, you
Mm-hmm.
almost need to say, okay, for right now, these 10 or 15 minutes of any meeting, it has to be 100%. Take that football, put it
Mm-hmm.
into the work drawer, close it, and then
Mm-hmm.
just focus on it. Because as
Right.
men, I think we need to be able to be very focused
Mm-hmm.
without letting those bleed from each side into each. Um,
Right.
and then at some point, when the kids are older,
Mm-hmm.
you can teach them that concept and they would understand it a little bit better. But you don't,
Right.
when they're younger, you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
have those bleed into each other.
Oh, that is a good idea.
It's a good point, but
Mm-hmm.
I've not perfected that.
You go,
It
okay.
still does bleed a little bit back and forth to me, and
Right.
I have to be reminded of it. That, hey, we're
Mm-hmm.
at the dinner table, and I'm like, yeah, but this
Right.
is so exciting. Yeah, I know, but it's not that exciting to them. You know,
Right. Right.
it's
And
more
and
of what
I
they're
think
excited about.
hmm the secret nowadays I'm finding is like to kind of put it away, like the phone, like actually no, like no sound away, because a lot of times emergencies happens all the time. So I
Hmm.
think if it's too critical, it will always get to you anyways, and you're not gonna miss. Like they can leave a message, anything, like anyways, But yes, I think that has been working better for me. But also the example you've provided, if you happen to have your phone and be something critical, just go ahead and like address it, but also kind of create that compartment. Like I think that's a
Yes.
good idea you have.
Yeah. And my wife always says the bank closes at
Right.
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
She said, it doesn't matter what happens. You
Right.
should have thought about that 6 days ago, 7, 20, 30, 40 days ago, right? So why are you open till 10 o'clock at night or
Ah.
11 o'clock at night?
Oh man.
You're teaching everyone around you that you're still open. And so
Ah.
you have to take both sides though, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
running a startup, you're building something new,
You
things
need to be
happen.
there.
You need to be able
Exactly.
to take that. But let's say
Exactly.
you're hanging out with your wife and you're watching your favorite, TV show or something to relax.
Right.
Again, you don't be talking on the phone in the bed, yelling and
Yeah.
screaming at the person on the other
Absolutely.
line. You have to
Right.
take that somewhere else, come
Mm-hmm.
back, everything's good.
That's
Absolutely. All
right.
right. Where were we on
That,
that show now? Where were we on
that's
the
it.
old version of Seinfeld or something?
Right, right. No, I'm
Oh,
happy, my friend. I'm happy to hear you speaking this because you have lived it. Like we have lived it. So this is good. Dads
yes.
can relate to what we're talking about. That's fantastic.
Yeah, if I've heard that when I was much younger,
Mm-hmm.
that probably would have helped a lot of the stress in the family or things that
Mm-hmm.
happened, and you have these long-term discussions or hour, 2 hour conversations about, hey, I know this is important, but the family is more important, and
Mm-hmm.
it it really is in the end of it all.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. The family is what most of us guys, that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
working for, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely,
Like
yes.
we're like your podcast is about dads.
Right.
That's what we want. So
That's it.
yeah, we want
That should be number
stability, but
one.
yeah, it's number one. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And the side is, maybe I can just do it better. I want to build this company, this business is something because I want to do it better than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And so to keep those balanced, it's very hard. It's like
Mm-hmm.
2 5-gallon buckets, or it's like two, it's like
Mm-hmm. Right.
it's a balancing act. Maybe
Right,
more it's like
right.
spinning the spinning plates on the broomsticks.
I
Uh,
think, also, I think, so far what I'm getting so far, I like the idea how like you can be on the same page with your wife. For instance, okay, so honey, this is my startup. I need to really be there at the moment, so we can help each other. But of course, I will not miss, let's say, 3 games or something like that. We have these
yes.
these marks. So this is good. You understand each other and you help each other to achieve it, because if the other part does not understand and we don't dedicate our time enough on the startup, you won't go anywhere. And when there's no money, the family also breaks, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, like you said, it's a balance. We have to try to
Yeah,
create that
it is.
balance,
I usually don't wear business clothes to the meetings. I usually don't wear them to the soccer games.
right?
But last night it just went longer than we thought. Then my
Hmm.
phone died,
Right.
and because I was streaming through my computer to
Uh-huh.
and then I didn't know where anybody was. I came home,
Oh
I
man.
dropped off my
Uh-huh.
stuff in my business clothes, just walk right
Right.
onto the field, and everyone's
That's
like,
it.
they didn't even recognize me because usually I'm in
Oh
like a
man.
sweatshirt. I don't care about my hair. I don't care about my
Right. Right.
shirt.
Right.
I'm just hanging out, and they're like, "Oh, well, hi there." And but what's priority? Just be on
Yes.
time. It's 15
Hmm.
minutes, 5 minutes early, whatever it was. Just be there because you're gonna. What's better when
Hmm.
you're older, saying, "I was always there." So, I mean, there's always problems at work because we mature. We dream in the beginning.
Hmm.
Oh, we're gonna be this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
Hmm.
And
Right.
then when you get old later, you realize like, yeah, it wasn't really, you know, I was dreaming a little bit. It wasn't exactly that. And
Hmm.
what better than your wife to say, hey, this is a problem here, and we need to fix this. And you have to be able to say, she's my helpmate. She's
Hmm.
making a great suggestion, even though it goes against, because the football's in the work box. So take the football
Right.
out, put it in the family
Hmm.
box, have that
Right.
discussion. Ultimately, it'll be the best most of the time, depending on the situation. But most of the time, it's
Awesome.
probably going to work out for the good.
Hmm. Awesome. My friend, you have a clear passion for helping small businesses succeed. So, how does this align with your role as a father so far?
So, helping small businesses, I'm hoping that I would help many other fathers in their small businesses too.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
if we're talking, dads to dads,
Right.
um, most of what we just talked about is that time management. And
Hmm.
TWEVA lives on the side of advertising. So if
Okay.
I can help somebody become a more of a community expert, is what we call it in the TWEVA
Hmm.
world, they
Okay.
may work a little bit less. It's not going to,
Hmm.
we don't teach time management. So you're going to need a coach for that. You're going to need somebody
Right.
to walk you through that side.
Okay.
But what I always wanted to help is small businesses gain recognition in their communities using
Hmm.
TVs. And
Okay.
early in my business world, that was
Hmm.
always a struggle for me. Like it was just
Hmm.
being recognized because I was so far in the background. And
Hmm.
that's what caused a lot of that friction between, do I work extra? Do I spend the family time? And
Hmm.
so I guess what I would say is if you can become more of a community expert where you live, you
Hmm.
can maybe work a little bit less. You have your customers set, and you can take that extra time at night to
Hmm.
spend with the family.
Okay. Okay. And my friend, how do you, what you do the more, with the Tweeva right now? How is that relationship with, let's say, my case, doing, let's say, patronage, let's say, approaching the local businesses in the community and be like, by the way, I can spend, like do an ad for you for this much, whatever, every month and stuff like that. Is that like, do you see any, like similarities with a patronage with a different podcasting or like YouTube channels?
Yeah, it's a huge Tweeva's a huge platform for content creators.
Right.
And the reason is because we don't have programming. So we don't
Mm-hmm.
have like, whatever channel you have, channel 11, and they might
Mm-hmm.
have news at 6 o'clock. But
Okay.
before 6 o'clock, they have advertising, and then they
Right.
have their 30-minute shows or 1 hour shows.
Right.
Tweeva is a community generated TV channel. So
Okay.
we don't have 24 hours around the clock programming. We have what the community gives us. And then we also have
Nice.
what the business gives us. So we
Okay.
actually have 24 hours or
Of
maybe
just that.
total of 22 hours
Hmm.
available all the time because we
Right.
are waiting on people in that community to create content, right? So
Wow.
let's say we put in 10 or 20 screens.
Mm-hmm.
We go to an ice cream shop, you'd see ice cream, you'd see the weather, you might see a few
Mm-hmm.
things that the mayor uploaded, and hey, come to
Mm-hmm.
this holiday party, or come to
Right.
the parade on this day. But
Right.
you'd keep seeing the same thing until content creators start to add. Now,
I see. I see.
this leaves a huge piece for video podcasters like yourself, because
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a big sports guy.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to the bar and I'm sitting there, talking with a friend or something, what catches my eye might be something in the news or something tech or something business. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is most bars don't have that. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
something that
Right.
I would be interested in. TWEVA brings that into the public
That.
space.
Okay. Okay.
That's where it would benefit you and every other content creator, because
Nice.
unless I'm at the bar and I'm searching dad suggestions, dad
Right.
podcast, which
Mm-hmm.
I,
Right.
it's a small percentage of people that know that they have a problem and then they actually
Right.
start searching that. It
Right.
would be more of a beneficial for you to title something that I would read up there,
Gotcha.
suggestions for small business dads,
Mm-hmm.
and run
Okay.
that. And I
There
may
you go.
scan that TV. It's like, hey, click that barcode where's my finger here? Click the
Nice.
barcode or the
Mm-hmm.
QR code down here in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
you would then find the longer version of the podcast, right? You upload a
Nice.
3-minute clip.
Fantastic.
Um, so that's the idea.
Okay.
But it's not a 30-minute show. It's a
Mm-hmm.
quick 3-minute clip. And then maybe
Something.
a
Yeah.
contractor would create a
Right.
piece of content. Hey,
Right.
this is how you lay bricks in your backyard or pavers in your backyard. And now you're
Okay.
like, oh, is that guy? Well, if it's Tweeva, you know
Mm-hmm.
that it's local. You know that
Right.
it's going to be something in your town. Um,
Nice.
so that's how we're trying to create that network to allow you and me and
Right.
anyone else with a 4K camera in their pocket
Right.
to be able to create content and share it. And they're building out being that community expert. So,
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, sir.
yeah.
This is fantastic. This is beautiful, sir. So how far, so far, how does it how does living in Florida let me see, that's kind of, I was trying to see how you being in Florida, I think, is, with the weather and everything else, they created, like a unique family, like experience there. How do you recommend that to our listeners so far?
Oh, well, Florida is, Florida's a
Oh man,
vacation state of,
my goodness. Yeah.
it's like the Florida, but I was originally from New Jersey. So me and
Okay.
my
Okay.
wife were both from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was cold. You get your seasons change there.
Mm-hmm.
But we were both a little bit, we're not like that high, crazy, fast New
Mm-hmm.
York, New Jersey. We
I
were
see. I
always
see.
kind of looking around like we just didn't feel like we belonged to that.
I
And
see. I
so
see.
she moved down to originally work with the Dolphins, and she
Mm-hmm.
really wanted
Okay.
to go work at SeaWorld. And that
Nice.
long
Nice.
term didn't pan out correctly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we started building business and our friends here in Florida, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
We used to have
Nice.
Disney,
Nice.
little cheaper tickets, and we would go float around in the water park every other
Nice.
weekend and get a little
Nice.
ice cream. And you know what? It felt like you're on vacation every couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks. That was a lot of fun. We loved doing that. But I think
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, they kind of closed off the tickets and stuff like that
Right. Right. Right.
for what we had specifically.
Right.
But it's always a nice place to have family. I mean, I think you can build your family wherever you're at. I don't think it
The-
matters. Find a couple local things to do.
Right.
Create those little memories. Like ours was
Mm-hmm.
float around in the tube, and then we would go get an ice cream.
There you
And
go,
you know what?
my friend.
For
Uh-huh.
$13 on a
Right.
Saturday afternoon, the
Yeah.
kids absolutely loved it. And
Nice.
what do we talk about when we can't do it? Oh, remember when we used to get those little Mickey sprinkles on the top and the big thing of whipped cream? And so they
Right.
loved it. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be here. You have
Right.
something like that wherever you are. Create a
Right.
little bit of a tradition, something to do with the kids. If it could be a zoo or a state park, and bring ice
Okay.
cream or something that they can go back to and remember what they were
Remember.
doing.
Right.
Your work is incredibly important,
Mm-hmm.
but like 2 hours, it really isn't that long out of a weekend
Mm-hmm.
to spend some time to do those specific things. And those events change
Nice.
as you get older. Right now
Right.
sometimes we go exercising and we'll be on our road bikes, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
trail down here. They
Right.
paved over the railroad tracks. And
Nice.
so now there's 30 miles of running, walking,
Nice.
biking. And so sometimes we do
Excellent.
that. But
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent.
definitely create some memories with the family by doing
Mm-hmm.
those things, either in
Okay.
summer or in the
Mm-hmm.
fall.
Awesome, awesome, my friend. I know like not much time left with us, but so far, do you have any other nuggets or wisdom to to dads in terms of from your experiences? I know we have spoken about how the technology we can make it useful to our families in terms like the calendar situation. Any other things that you want to share that you think will be useful to us as dads?
Protect your little ones. That's
Mm-hmm.
always a thing with the internet. When
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on the computer, it wasn't, well, we didn't have internet. And so we've seen several stories of how people are accessing different parts of the internet and they
Mm-hmm.
stumble across something. And so I would say it's very, very important from very early on to as they get older to have a filter, have
Mm-hmm.
something parental filter on there, because um, you are the father, and you are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to protect your family. And
Right.
that is like number one, protect them. And then you can bring them what you want. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's this kind of music or if it's that kind of artist, you can
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, this person is not right because of this, or this person is
Mm-hmm.
not right because of that, or
Mm-hmm.
this is a wrong way to connect with, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody in a video game.
Right.
But that's number one. We never really had unfiltered access. So I would,
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. You want to be able to teach your children how to connect to the world
Mm-hmm.
as they get older. So as a dad, that's number one for me.
Okay.
Seeing where the internet has evolved to, number one,
Mm-hmm.
protection. Because then after that, you can go connect them where you need to. Hey, this is a networking group over here. It's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, Dad, I'm networking, I'm playing Roblox, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
networking, I'm playing, what's the other shoot 'em up games? And they think by putting the headphone on and the
Right.
microphone that Dad, I'm hanging with my friends. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but the best
Mm-hmm.
people aren't always in there, you
Right.
know? And so
Mm-hmm.
we have to remember as dads is we can handle it. We're
Mm-hmm.
30, we're 40, we're 50.
Right.
They can't. Their brains can't process it from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Even remember
Right.
when you're 16 or 17 and you're
Yeah.
curious,
Right.
be the one to bring them through. Um,
Right.
I would say either the fire or bring them outside of the gate of what you're bringing them in. Hold
Right.
hands, bring them
Mm-hmm.
out, and then bring them back in and teach them. Hey, this is what was wrong over here. This is what's wrong over
Right.
there, and you'll be astonished by um, the benefits of that when they're older. Saying, yeah, yeah, I just wasn't thrown out there. It's like
Mm-hmm.
leaving your kid in a mall, just saying, okay, have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't do
They
that.
don't know what's going. Yeah,
So
you're right.
yeah, so I would leave with that. Build a strong
Mm-hmm.
family, build a strong
Mm-hmm.
business.
Okay.
Business is just friendship with money. So
Okay.
start with your family, build it there, and then continue your
Okay.
growth. That would be my best nugget.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. And what one of the questions that was asked by the prior prior guest was saying like, what do you think is why dads will say things that they will not do? Like, she was wondering why dads will say things like, but they don't really go for it.
That they will say things
Yeah,
that
for
they
instance,
will do,
like
or is it a goal?
I,
Or
I guess in terms of advising or running the family, they will say, let's say, like you're supposed to exercise, or you're supposed to like do this, but then themselves they will be like on the other side of the town.
why do we do that? We probably might have our mind in that drawer, right? And so
Hmm.
we're thinking, hey, I need to give advice. I have the best, advice for this piece right now. Um,
Right.
but then we probably have a loss of organization of our time. Like if we
Okay.
really could see forward,
Hmm.
what would happen if we exercised 20 minutes
Hmm.
a day or 20 minutes every
Hmm.
3 or 4 days?
Right.
It would be different. We have very short term, get things done now.
Hmm.
I don't,
Right.
I sometimes say to my family, I don't talk that much, but when I do, it's
Hmm.
important because we'll sit and think about
Hmm.
that thing for a while and then say, okay, guess what? It's very good to exercise. Yeah, but they
That's
haven't been
it.
thinking about that for 16 hours.
Right.
We were.
Hmm.
But I think as dads, that's part of that
Mm-hmm.
community where we should really hold each other accountable for those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things. But it's kind of
Absolutely.
weird. Don't you sometimes think that as guys, we just think, okay, you have it under control and I have it under
Mm-hmm.
control and everything's good.
Right.
But we both think like, well, maybe I'm better than this. I'm better than that person. But nobody's talking. Women will sit down and say, oh, golly, my husband this or my kid this. And they start talking back and forth.
They
We're
figure out.
missing that, the communication.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
somehow we need to, dare I use the word evolve, because I doubt that will happen in the male brain here, but
Mm-hmm.
we can slowly teach ourselves to
Right.
become a little bit better
Right.
in that case. But ultimately, I think we
Mm-hmm.
know where we want to go. But
Right.
sometimes we don't exactly know how to get there or take that
Okay.
first step, and there's fear involved. Um,
Okay.
I don't know. I tend to do that too. Like, this is a great idea. We should
Yes.
do
Thank you.
this.
Thank you. I think
Uh,
we'll keep with that in mind. I think it's a great. We need to work on that. We need to have that involvement. And do better with our
yes.
communications and such. And my friend, do you have another question to the future, the next guest as a dad? Like, what kind of question you would like for them to answer?
Oh, whew. I didn't. That would throw me off a little bit. I don't know
Sorry
exactly
about
what I would ask the next person, but
Okay, okay, okay. It's okay.
I would have
Think about
probably
it.
a lot of
You
questions to
know,
ask. But I'd have to think about it.
please, and like share with me, and then I'll share in our description down the road. Like when we produce the episode. And also, is there any other new product or like projects or initiatives that we should look out for that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm actually launching another version of Tweeva out there that will
Hmm.
help us on the social media side. So,
Okay.
um, Chat GPT, everybody's talking about Chat GPT and how the
Right.
AI can help us in certain
Hmm.
things. And so what
Right.
I've done is I developed an API to Chat GPT to be able to
Okay.
help us create social media content. So every
Okay.
single day, if you're a small business or you're in a small business, it's going to ping
Right.
you every day like, hey, I just created a great social media post. And if you're an
Right.
Italian restaurant,
Boom.
it's going to create
Hmm.
something about Italian chicken parmesan. You got to try it. It's
Nice.
encrusted and this and that. And it's
Right.
got
Right. Right.
spaghetti and linguine on the side.
Hmm.
Please take a picture of your dish and send it off to up to 10 social networks. So I'm really kind
Nice.
of building that piece out. It's going to
Beautiful.
be
Yes, sir.
extremely affordable for those small
Right.
businesses, because
Hmm.
that's what I see
Right.
out there is I can't keep up with social media. It's too much.
Right.
And so we're
I
working
know.
on
I
this
know.
project and trying to get it
Okay.
out in the next month, probably by the new year.
Thank you. So that would be nice. So we are really looking forward to it. And how can people reach out to you, my friend?
You can visit the website at tweeva.com,
Hmm.
or you can
Okay.
email me at dave at
Hmm.
tweeva,
Okay.
TWEVA.com, or just
Okay.
hit us up on any kind of the socials. I mean, we're on all of the socials. So
Hmm.
just find us at
Fantastic.
TWEVA.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'll be sharing all this information also in the description. So thank you so much, David, for taking the time being with us. I'm really looking forward to seeing the great growth with your startups. And it's amazing. Thank you again for being with us today, boss.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun to talk about family life and